Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our Q&A webinar for the 2025-2026 cohort of the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program. My name is Gabriel Knight, Chief of Strategy and Organizational Development at the Division of Personnel, and I will be your facilitator for today's webinar. Today's webinar is an opportunity for you to learn more about the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program, specifically from the individuals who work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the successful launch and completion of each cohort, as well as from the people who have successfully completed the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program. Our panel members include Director Cindy Richardson, Dr. Susan McGrath, Dr. Latisha Richards, Assistant Director Lyle Evelyn, Ms. Shauna O'Reilly, Ms. Zolimar Garcia, and Ms. Everil James. Now I'm going to turn it over to Director Richardson to do a brief opening remarks before we get started. Director Richardson?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to see that so many of you have taken interest in the CPM programs. I just want to say thank you for joining us. We're really excited about this upcoming cohort. And, we've been doing this for several years. Actually, we've been doing this for the last 12 years. The program started back in 2013. So I'm really excited to see that it's continuing and growing. I'm happy to see that we have an alumni group and they're able to participate and to give feedback. So I'm not going to talk for too long because this is a session where you can ask questions. So I am sure that a lot of the questions and a lot of things that I will say will probably be answered or asked today. So again, thank you so much for joining us today, and I would look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Richardson. And following up on what Director Richardson said, 2025 marks 12 years since the first cohort of the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program began. The Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program is a nationally accredited comprehensive management development program. The program's primary goal is to improve the performance of public sector managers and supervisors, as well as the organizational performance of state, local, and federal governments. The program is a collaboration between the Division of Personnel under the Office of the Governor and the University of the Virgin Islands Center for Excellence in Leadership and Learning, or UVI CEL. The Division of Personnel provides administrative support, while UVI Center for Excellence in Leadership and Learning is responsible for administering and delivering the course curriculum. The Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program is accredited by the National Certified Public Manager Consortium, and while the focus of the national program is the development of public sector managers and supervisors, the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program was granted special permission to open the program to local private and nonprofit sectors in the United States Virgin Islands. The program is committed to contributing to the professional development of the employees in the United States Virgin Islands. It is committed to sharing the educational resources of the University of the Virgin Islands. It is committed to strengthening the capabilities of the employees of the government of the Virgin Islands as they carry out their duties and responsibilities, and it is designed to serve as a hub of knowledge that can be used as a source of information in the Virgin Islands on all matters relating to in-service public sector training and education. The program's core values include professionalism, service above self, principled leadership, respect and tolerance of others, teamwork, collegiality, and inclusiveness of ideas. The first cohort started in 2013 and produced 43 graduates. To date, the program has produced 253 graduates, and this cohort will be the 7th cohort of the program. Past graduates have utilized their knowledge and skills gained through their participation in the program to become community leaders, senators, and directors and commissioners of government agencies. Now, before I ask the panel members to introduce themselves, I would like to acknowledge the presence of any members of the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Policy Board. The members of the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Policy Board, they are community leaders who volunteer their time to monitor and maintain the quality of the program, as well as provide support, oversight, and advice to the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program team. Now, I'm going to ask each of the members if you can please just go ahead and introduce yourselves and just tell us something that you learned from your participation in the program. I'm going to put a time limit on it. This is our elevator pitch, so we're going to go with 60 seconds. So I'm going to start off with Director Richardson. If you can let us know just your name and official title, and then anything that you've learned from your experience as being part of the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program.
Good afternoon again, Cindy Richardson, Director of Division of Personnel. I think for me, I really enjoy, I've sat through several sessions where I've seen a lot of the projects, the final projects presented, and it's really interested to see what the participants come up with and how they apply it. And it's really good to watch and see some of my fellow colleagues as they are promoted or elevate themselves into agency head positions or even just promotions on a whole, just from participating in the CPM program and actually watching, again, some of these projects come to fruition and actually be applied and become effective within the various agencies.
Thank you, Director Richardson. Now we're going to go over to Dr. McGrath.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I want to say welcome and thank you so much to the Division of Personnel, our CPM Policy Board, our UVI Cell team that are on today. The Certified Public Manager Program is a fantastic opportunity to help you to continue to grow in your career as a leader and to really stay on the cutting edge with all of your leadership needs. So we have opportunities for our government employees as well as our non-governmental employees and our public sector participants. We've continued to expand here. I'm especially excited about new opportunities on St. John. So UVI is back on St. John, so we really hope to have a cohort there this year. The spaces are limited though, so we do want to encourage everyone to apply. Make sure when you're with your application that you're really thinking about a real project that's going to have meaningful impact here in the territory. We've seen a lot of fantastic projects over the year, so really push yourself to see a vision and to see what that would look like to create that for the territory. The program is not easy. It's going to be a lot of work, but as well as getting your certification as a certified professional manager, you'll also be able to earn 6 credits towards a master's in public administration here at the university. But for me, one of the biggest takeaways always every single year is the network, the collegiality that our members establish together. They have those lifelong connections. We do have our alumni association. So once you go through the program, you have those continuing education opportunities, and you'll be able to join the ranks of our illustrious graduates who have seen personal and professional growth. So thank you so much, team. Back to you, Mr. Knight.
Thank you, Dr. McGrath. We are going to go on to Dr. Edwards.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Latasha Edwards. I am the Community Engagement Manager at UVI Cell, as well as our Director for the Center for the Study of Spirituality and Professionalism. And it's truly an honor and a pleasure to be with you all today, because we already know that at your job sites, you're already innovative, hardworking, determined, and the CPM program is just a great platform for you to cultivate more ideas, understand how you can work with others, understand how leadership works, and how you can in turn become great leaders and help cultivate other leaders among those that you work with. So please take advantage of this opportunity. As Dr. McGrath and Director Richardson said, the projects are what help not just build your agency, but also help develop and grow our community. And that's definitely what we want to see. So have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope that you ask questions, you learn, and you become engaged as we are here to share with you.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. All right, now we're going to go to our alumni members. We're going to start off with Assistant Director Evelyn.
Good afternoon. My name is Lyle Evelyn. I'm the Assistant Director for the VI Fire and Emergency Medical Services. So one thing I could say about the CPM program is that it definitely enhanced my strategic leadership capabilities, project management, and process improvement skills. When I now approach organizational challenges, I sense that I approach them with greater structure and rigor, just by applying the tools that I learned through the CPM curriculum. Definitely enjoyed all of the various lecturers from various disciplines within the VI government and also from the private sector as well. Personally, the program strengthened my capacity to manage large cross-functional initiatives and definitely enforce my view in terms of continuous improvement and be able to adapt my various leadership styles. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Director Evelyn. Ms. O'Reilly.
Good afternoon, everybody. Shanna O'Reilly, Chief of Staff for the VI Department of Health. What I would say that the program, what I took away from it, yes, I did get a lot from it, but what I really took away was from our mediation classes and stuff and those things, those helped me to approach situations in the workplace differently. It was definitely amazing experience, and if you can do it, and if your cohort is amazing, like my cohort was, you have lifelong partners, you have people who are there for you. And with our CPM class, we we formed a little team, so we had each other's back because a lot of us were working at times when we should have been fully committed to the class. So that took a little adjusting for us, but that was my major takeaway from there. It gave you laugh, but yes.
Thank you, Ms. O'Reilly. We are going to go to Ms. Garcia.
Good afternoon. My name is Zoimar Garcia. I am the Senior Recruitment and Classification Specialist at the Division of Personnel. I've been with the government for 23 years. I am a graduate of the 2021-2022 VI CPM cohort. This program was an excellent program. I enjoyed that I was selected. It equipped me with leadership skills, the necessary tools and techniques to analyze complex problems and develop effective solutions. And it was a great opportunity to network with other professionals and leaders in the GVI. We still do so up until today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Thank you so much. All right, next we are going to go to Ms. James. Ms. James.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Everil James. I'm the lead HRIT technician at the Division of Personnel. For me, the CPM program equipped me with leadership, management, and problem-solving skills. I would say that this experience has really deepened my commitment to effective public service, and it strengthens my ability to lead with clarity and a purpose. So if I'm given the opportunity to take it again, I will really do that. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. James. All right, thank you. We are going to go into our questions. Now, we did provide everyone who was registering an opportunity to submit their questions. So we are going to focus on the questions that were submitted, and then we will segue into questions that come from the live chat, or if there's something that asks us to build upon an answer that was provided. And we're going to start off with Team UVI, because I know we talked within the introduction about the core competencies and the values of the program, and I'd like to ask Team UVI to tell us a little bit about the core competencies and values of the program and how they are going to help to improve the individual and organizational performance of your public and private sector managers and supervisors.
Sure. So the VI CPM program is grounded in 7 nationally recognized competencies. So we want to make sure that you understand that this is not just a UVI or a VI program, but a nationally recognized program developed by the National Certified Public Manager Consortium. And there are 7 core competencies: personal and organizational integrity, managing work, leading people, developing self, systemic integration, public service focus, and change leadership. And these core values guide participants in ethical leadership, evidence-based decision-making, and of course, performance-driven service. So our hope is that you will strengthen your individual confidence and professional skills while equipping the public sector managers with tools to help lead their teams, improve systems, and drive innovation with their agencies.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. Awesome. Well, since you're already there, Dr. Edwards, the program has 3 phases, which is supervision, management, and senior management. Can you tell us a little bit about the phases of the program and their progression in terms of, how they build on each other?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, it is focused around progressive leadership development. So we begin with phase 1, which is supervision, and it focuses on building foundational leadership skills such as communication, performance management, time management, and team leadership. So as Ms. O'Reilly had mentioned, that conflict resolution, that mediation piece. Phase 2 then transitions to management, where we enhance or hope to enhance organizational effectiveness through strategic thinking, resource allocation, human capital, and financial management. And lastly, phase 3, which is senior management, which is geared towards preparing our participants to lead with vision, manage change, influence policy, and most importantly, doing all of this while aligning strategy with public service outcomes.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. Awesome. All of those phases, they culminate into the Capstone project. I know the Capstone project is something that I dreaded when I went through the process many a nights in terms of working on that. And definitely thank you to my team who helped me with my Capstone project as well. So the Capstone project, of course, is a culmination of everything where they apply the skills they've learned to the program and apply to a real world problem faced by their agency. What advice would you give to applicants in terms of them selecting their Capstone project? What's important for them to know?
Right. So last year was my first year working with our participants in the CPM program. And one thing I can definitely say I was impressed and enjoyed watching the presentations from our participants. And in doing so, I want to encourage candidates to first choose a project that addresses a real relevant issue with your agency. That helps build your commitment, as well as your administrator will see that there is an opportunity to implement this possible project. So you also have to make sure that you're aligning it with your agency's priorities to ensure buy-in and relevance. Third, you want to ensure that the project is manageable within program timelines and resource limits. As you all heard, our alumni mention, they were working sometimes when they were in class. And of course, you still have your obligations, whether it's at work or at home. So you want to make sure that you are creating something that's manageable. And lastly, focus on projects with measurable outcomes or a potential for replication. Because as we mentioned earlier, this is also data driven. We're not asking you to do anything that we ourselves who sit on the other side of the table don't have to do. So you want to make sure that there is a concise, easy way for you to collect and reflect on the project and share data and information for not only measuring your outcomes, but how can we replicate it, maybe not within your agency alone, but other agencies across the territory as well.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. Thank you very much. Speaking of the Capstone project, I'm going to jump to our alumni because they have gone through those projects, and our alumni are from actually the last 2 cohorts, so it's quite recent, and our members are from St. Thomas as well as St. Croix. And I think the biggest question I'd like to ask our alumni to share is, how did you maintain that work-life balance? Because we talked about working while we were there, but what would you share with our candidates and applicants in terms of how you manage that work-life balance while going through the program?
It was different for me because I did mine online. What I did was at lunchtime, I would start my reflective essay from the first half of the class. And then after class, I would finish the last part of the reflective essay. So I kind of kept it on balance. And then here and there, like I said, I was at home, so it wasn't like I was to work or anything like that. So it was a little advantage for me. And I love writing. So once you get your material the day before, you read up on it, take your notes. And then during class, I would take little notes or highlights. And then, like I said, during lunch and then after class. And it was like that for a good bit until it got kind of busy with the individual project and stuff. But once you stay on top of it, it's going to be okay.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to go to Miss James.
Yes, as Ms. Garcia said, taking the notes is important for me as well, because what I did during class, I used to take like notes and stuff like that. So once I get home, most of the time, a lot of the classes used to dismiss us maybe like an hour or so prior to, the time that the class is supposed to finish. So once I get home, I'll just jump on my computer and do the reflective essay. That's what I used to do, yes. And like on weekends, I used to set aside maybe like on a Saturday evening, a little time, to try and start to put my the information for my project together. But doing the reflective essay wasn't really a challenge. The fact that I used to take the notes during when, the class goes on. And then at the end of the day, I'll try to put something together.
Fantastic. Thank you. Taking notes. Miss O'Reilly, what was your secret to success?
for everyone, Gabriel was part of Mr. Knight was part of our cohort. We formed a nice little family kind of vibe in our cohort. So we were there to support each other. So a lot of our work-life balance during those 3 days, we would eat together, cook one of the days, and that helped alleviate some of the stress. You're trying to find your lunch, bring your lunch, do all those things. Most of the people in my life knew I was doing it. So on the days we had to run interference or they had to help, that worked out. We even helped each other if we were stuck at school and something happened, we were there for each other. So I really didn't feel like it was that hard of a work-life balance. There are some days that you'll have that are difficult to pull yourself fully away from work and to engage. And that's what I was mentioning before. And on those days, to have the support of your fellow cohorts and your classmates to be there for you, to help you. And sometimes they helped me work through whatever it was I was going through that day. It was amazing because you somewhere in the room was your solution in most cases for us. So that made it that much more of an enjoyable experience because you had people who are going through the things that you're going through every day and they're there for you and to help balance out your days when you had to be out of pocket.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Assistant Director Evelyn.
Yeah, so I will definitely agree with Mr. Riley. I used to look forward to coming to class every month because for some reason we were a family. And I think all of us kind of clicked together from the first day. And it's amazing, and that we continue to have this fraternity still existing up to now. You know, we have our group chat and we stay in touch and we have parties together. But apart from that, I think, and from my area, you know, just like when I'm in class, I will tell my direct reports, hey, these few days I'm in class, you know, don't disturb me, so to speak. I would put on our calendar the days that I'm in class, so no one will call me into a meeting or ask me to join a meeting. It's very important to have, you know, support from your director or your supervisor so that, you know, they don't pile work on you or ask you to do specific tasks during that week. So for that CPM week, as Ms. James said, you know, I will finish my assignments that week. And family life as well, you know, let everyone know that this is something that I want to accomplish. And exercise, you know, stay healthy in your mind and in your body as well. So it's just a matter of trying to find that balance. But I think going through the program was not a chore, so to speak, because it was a joy to meet with our classmates and share ideas. And we had amazing instructors, you know, that made the class worthwhile. And I think that helped a lot from a learning perspective.
Thank you, fellow alums. I'm hearing a lot of great information, especially taking notes, having that support, creating that family network, supporting each other when you're through the classes, and just making sure that, you know, you have that time that you dedicate to yourself, but not just there, but also, you know, making sure that you do the things outside of it. I wanna stick with the alumni and talk about your projects, specifically your projects. I want to learn just the title of your project in terms of what it was, and then share with us, like, how did you select your project, any challenges that you faced, and then, you know, anything just in terms of where the status of your project is now. And I'm going to start off. I'm going to go back to Ms. James. Ms. James, what was your project, and just let us know, you know, what motivated you to select that project, and, you know, any challenges and, you know, things that you went through with your project, and, you know, where your project is right now.
Okay, so during that time, when I signed up for the class, I was part of the admin unit under the supervision of Deputy Kwashi. So my project is on the retroactive payments. So as we know, DOP is responsible for the distribution of payments that are owed to active and separate employees and retirees of the GPI. The focus of it was to primarily improve the efficiency of the retroactive records. So under the guidance of Ms. Kwashi and the admin team, we set out basically to do just that. So it did entails like extend researching, cleaning up, updating of the payment records. One of the key components of the project was that we did create like a master spreadsheet with a lot of detailed information and summary calculation. That information will be updated, will be available on the website once the website is back up. I would say that this process is ongoing. Overall, the project, it's expected to save time in terms of future retro payments. So basically, its intent was to reduce time and minimize errors as well. So because of that, there is a system in place for current and future retro payments. So it makes the task much easier and more efficient.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay.
James. Ms. O'Reilly. Ms. O'Reilly, tell us about your project, please.
Sure. My project was, well, in my office, what I was finding from the day I started was we'd come to a situation and we'd ask for who the point of contact was. How do you get in contact with this person? Do you have an address? Do you have this? And a lot of times the answer was no. So I started keeping a Word file that I would share with everybody on the team with the information. Every time I was told no, I would find out who the contact was, what the address was, whatever it was, and I detailed it. I decided to make that my project. So I changed it into an OTC playbook for our division and made it a share file and updated the information to include internal information that we need in here to support the commissioner and the assistant commissioners and the DCs, and external information that we need to support signatured files that need to go to other agencies and how they needed to be distributed, how signature documents that come for the commissioner have to be signed, where they need to go, what you need to look for in the document. It comprised all of these different things, even down to a directory. So I had to incorporate and ask and beg a lot of different division leads internally to assist me with that. At first, they thought it was great, a lot of them, but then when I was like, okay, so this is what I need from you, that's where it's like, oh boy. So I get homework too. But once they sat down and I put it on a big screen, I put everybody in one room and I showed them what my project looked like. I showed them what I wanted it to be. A lot of people got really excited and they started working in their own little miniature playbooks and cranking out their own little documents. All I ask of them is to share it with me every once in a while so I can update the file, or you can just add it to the file yourself so that we have something that we can use internally here. And then the goal for me was not just for the OTC, but then to create one that was department wide that we could send out for all of them to use. At present, I will say that what's happening is some of our divisions are sending out the different things for themselves, but they're creating the files and then I'm getting the files and then I'm creating the master. So I had to be passionate about it. And that's what I will say. It had to be something that, one, it directly affected my job. And two, it was something I was like, you guys really, really need this. Like, this is something that needs to exist when nobody's here. Because if I'm not here, you should be able to just be like, oh, here's the information and I got it. And that's why I did it, because I felt it was something that was really, really needed.
Thank you. Growth and progress, enhancing the communication within your team. That is fantastic. Thank you. Ms. Garcia.
My project was a classification project, which entailed multiple projects that are still benefiting the RNC unit as well as GBI employees. Due to the fact that we were in a kind of hybrid schedule of teleworking and working in the office, I was in the process already of creating fillable forms for the position description questionnaire, the PDQ, a position analysis form, which would assist in developing job descriptions, and a job description template along with a cheat sheet that we're still using currently. I got my team to assist me in archiving old and duplicate the job descriptions on our application tracking system NeoGov, and we purged the filled positions to make it a little easier when seeking other positions to work on. Like I said, we're still using it. We're moving, more online, so it's not so much as paper forms. Like I said, we're using NeoGov. Where every government employee, has a job description, so they use a template now to update old job descriptions, revise them, create. So we're still using it, which is good. Our team can, work more effectively. We assist, especially with the cheat sheet that we send to the employers, that they can see more or less what we're looking for with the factors.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Thank you. And we're going to go to Assistant Director Evelyn.
Yes. So my project was based on addressing a long-standing operational challenge that we have within the VI EMS system, which is insufficient surge capacity during emergencies. So a little background on this. Since the integration of EMS and fire a few years ago, we realized that a lot of the EMS providers or practitioners kind of still work in a silo. So we have a lot of EMS practitioners that work. So licensed and nationally registered EMS practitioners, including EMTs and paramedics that work in various departments such as VIPD, Port Authority, National Guard, Homeland Security, and even in the private sector. So my project was entitled Enhancing the VI EMS Surge Capacity, the VI Pre-Hospital EMS Community Cohort, or the VIPEC initiative. This initiative basically engages all of the certified EMS providers across the various sectors to form a scalable, reliable, resilient support network that can be mobilized during disasters, mass gatherings, and periods of system stress. So how does that work? So basically we bring them to the table before an event. We utilize them for various events like carnival activities, and also to be a member of the cohort, you have to agree to do like 12 to 24 hours of shift work, volunteer shift work on the ambulance. So that way you keep your skills up and you're known before an emergency. So it tackled a real operational need that I had witnessed firsthand in my role as assistant director, and it aligned with our strategic goals, and it basically gave us the opportunity to build long-term resilience, because we needed these individuals to assist us on a long-term basis. So it's still in effect, and I'm hoping to kind of scale it more to the St. Croix district as well. So that's really it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Assistant Director Evelyn. All fantastic projects, and I am happy to hear that you've seen some growth and movement in each of your projects, and you're actually looking to fine-tune as well as expand them. I'm actually going to jump back to Team UVI because I do have a question, because we had a group project, and I'd like to ask Team UVI if there is going to be a group project this year for the cohort members, because we did have a very fun time working on our group project. If there is one, I don't know if Dr. McGrath or Dr. Edwards can share anything about that, if the group project is something planned for the next cohort that's coming.
Chin, I need your help on that.
So my name is Dr. Chin Euchre. Just call me Chin, and I'm a program manager.
Hey, Chin.
It's good to see you, Mr. Knight and team.
We got you on camera.
That's right. So team, yes, we're going to do group projects and individual projects. And this year, we're going to change it slightly. We're also going to have an incredible graduation. So after the incredible instruction from the talented set of instructors, some from the past and some new ones, we're going to definitely build in those individual projects and have the report out. We modified it last year, but this year we're going to schedule time to make sure all of the islands, all of the participants have a chance to share their individual projects. We loved hearing it here. We know that you want to hear it when you have your cohort. As far as your group project, this is going to be also selected by each of the districts, and we cannot wait to hear about the great, impactful, relevant projects that are really going to make a difference in our territory. And don't forget about graduation. That's our time to celebrate. Okay, team. Thank you so much.
Chin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chin.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to actually go to Director Richardson and ask Director Richardson to just share some information with everyone here in terms of how an interested person would apply to participate in the next cohort of the program and what they would need to complete their application.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Knight. So, of course, in order to apply, you would have to go to the Division of Personnel's website. That is dopusvi.org. And what we recommend is that once you get there, the easiest way to get to it is to click on employees and then go to the SOD tab. That's Strategy and Organizational Development. And then you'll be able to find the CPM button, which takes you to the application that you would then fill out. After that, you are going to definitely, you're going to need your most current resume. And I do ask that you please take the time and update that. That's always best. Make sure you have your most recent information on there. You would then complete the continued service agreement. That is an agreement that says that because the payment by the government of the Virgin Islands, that you are agreeing to work for the GVI for the next 3 years, for at least 3 years. After that, you're also going to complete the proposed individual applied project form, which gives goes into a little bit of detail about your project. After that, you're going to need to get a completed approval of participation, the participation form from your immediate supervisor. Also, you will need a letter of recommendation that will come from your immediate supervisor as well. And then finally, what you will need is the approval from your agency head. And then there is a $60 processing fee.
Thank you, Director Richardson. And who can apply?
So who can apply? So of course, you have your local government agencies. So that's inclusive of the executive branch, your semi-autonomous, your autonomous agencies, legislative branch, their central staff only, from what I understand, and of course, the judicial branch. It's also open to federal government, like I said, the legislature and a nonprofit organization, and it's also open to private sector employees. So those are the individuals who can apply. I will say that within the GBI, I try to encourage individuals who are in that mid-level positions, who are usually managing or supervising individuals. That is who I usually try to encourage. I will say that I think might have been like the last cohort when we did announce, of course, when I announced the start date for CPM last cohort, I did that at the cabinet meeting. And one of the things that Governor Bryan stated is that he would have preferred that agency heads not participate, that he wanted to have some of these slots open for that middle management group. So that's usually what we encourage. I'm not saying that is a requirement, but that's usually where we would like to see those individuals who are participating, that's the sector that they come from. Again, it's not a requirement, but it's just usually something that's preferred. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So thank you, Mr. Knight.
Thank you, Director. And what is the deadline for everyone to submit their application?
The deadline for that is June 23rd.
Thank you. And we do want to add that the process is digitized. It does not require you to actually print anything out. Everything is done online, and you're able to get that immediate response because we wanted to make sure we cut down on the time frame. So thank you, Director Richardson. All right, I am actually going to jump up to some more questions just about the courses. So this could either be for Director Richardson or Team UVI. The selection process for the instructors. Can you share with us just the selection process in terms of how you pick your instructors?
We have a few that are referred to us by either the Office of the Governor or Office of the Lieutenant Governor, of course, because of their seats and their access to things that are important to what matters in our community and in helping to develop our agencies, as well as community experts in their areas and their field, so that they're able to give a robust wealth of knowledge as you are sitting in the classroom. Because I'm sure many of you have said as alum that the instructors provided great information, knowledge, and opportunities for you to kind of grow and think and develop. So Chin, or Dr. Euchre, has worked very hard and diligently to put together a list of our community members. And that way you have access to those persons in the community to do further outreach and to connect and to help build on current projects, future projects, and other opportunities that are there.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. All right, let's jump into some of the other questions that we had that came in. Specifically, how long does it take to go through the program? The time frame, and is there a requirement in terms of like instructional hours, things of that sort for candidates to go through the program? What's the length?
Our length of expected time is 14 months. So you meet once a month for 3 days. And classes are usually all day. As Ms. James had mentioned, sometimes they will opt to skip lunch to have an earlier release date, but there still is an expectation that and of course, using time wisely, right? They're working on projects, networking, sharing information, sometimes working, but trying to get as much done in the time allotted.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards. And while we're on that while we're on that theme of questions, in terms of the structure of the classes and the course schedule, are they virtual, in person? Is there going to be a blend this year? And is there any plan to incorporate the use of artificial intelligence?
Dr. Euchre?
Most definitely. I can take this one. So as far as the use of AI, we are definitely looking at programs to support this request. And it's going to be generative AI for public sector professionals. And we are thrilled. It'll be an online component. And we're also going to try to figure out how can we weave that into our case study approach. As far as the courses, they're in person. At times, suppose you miss a session, just please let us know. We'll make sure that content, that relevant content for those amazing instructors are provided to you with the recording, the slides, and the documents.
Thank you. Thank you. Now to the big question that everybody always asks, what's in it for me? That's the short version for the candidates. But so, and actually, no, the specific question is, what are some of the skills that, candidates can expect to walk away from that will help their leadership and management in their department? And one of the questions was specific to law enforcement, but we can make it general. And if there's anything else we want to add, you can. But anything specific in terms of some of the skills that they can expect to walk away with when it speaks to leadership and management?
I definitely feel like they'll walk away with actionable skills. When we think about all the program entails and what we're looking for, which you're enhancing communication and abilities to mediate and leadership skills, there's so many opportunities for anyone who chooses to participate to see a chance where they can connect and grow and be able to serve and manage others. I think that's the other big piece as we're transitioning into managerial roles, understanding how to work, not just with those in the community, but also your team.
And Dr. Edwards, if I can just add one more thing, remember that everyone's a leader. So whether you're leading projects, leading self, here's an opportunity to really explore the courses, talk with your peers, reach out to your instructors, and really figure out those skills, just as Ms. O'Reilly talked about, as far as in mediation, whichever ones really resonate, really hone in and ask specific questions so you can apply them within your agency and your role and your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Edwards and Dr. Euchre. Director Richardson, were you going to say something earlier, or?
No, I just wanted to add to some of the types of courses and topics that are covered. It's very vast. There are so many different topics that are touched on. So I've seen anything from critical thinking, ethics and values in public management space, policy analysis, creative problem solving. There's a little bit of HR management in there, and just even some media relations. So that's just some of the topics that I've seen that you can actually touch on, and some of the skills that you can gain that's applicable across the board. So I just wanted to add that to the list that was mentioned previously.
Thank you. Thank you. And actually, speaking of some of the skills, one of the other questions that came from our registered participants is whether or not they're going to have any courses that will cover the areas of effective communication, conflict resolution, change management, strategic planning, public management, and their overall effectiveness in public service. I definitely can say yes, having gone through the program, but I will actually allow Dr. Edwards or Dr. Euchre if they want to highlight any specific courses that would cover those topics.
And that's a yes. We do have. So every day you expect a different topic or instructor. Sometimes you might have the same one for several days, but they all cover all of those topics, all of those areas, strategic planning. I know Dr. Euchre probably was looking at her list while you were asking the question, because we've already contacted instructor. That's what I'm like, yeah, but I know because Dr. Euchre has already identified instructors and we're working through the list. Yes, absolutely. They'll all be discussed.
Awesome. Thank you. I see Dr. Euchre nodding. Okay, the thumbs up from Chin is what we need. Okay, so now, of course, the big question that tends to get asked is there a cost to participate in the program? And is there a certification test to maintain your VI CPM certification?
So I can touch on the cost aspect. So for your local government, again, that's central, semi-autonomous, autonomous, on the legislature, federal and nonprofit employees, that is a cost of $3,500. And for private on business owners, it's a total of $4,200.
And just to piggyback on that, Director, can you also mention the ones that are covered by the government of the Virgin Islands? The amount that's covered by the government of the Virgin Islands?
That is $3,500, and we cover at least for 40 participants.
All right, thank you. And in regards to the certification, I don't believe there is one, having gone through it, but I know once you get it. So since I don't, Chin just popped back on, she's like, yes, you got this. No. Yeah, once you are a certified public manager, you are a certified public manager for life. I see that there is a question regarding St. John, which there is a plan to incorporate the St. John space. And as Dr. McGrath mentioned, of course, it is going to be based on the participation. But yes, for the question regarding St. John, there is a plan to incorporate the St. John space over there. So we would like to use that. Of course, it's always going to be based on the number of applications that come in. But we do want to make sure that we give St. John an opportunity to be part of the Virgin Islands Certified Public Manager Program as well. If there's any advice, there's one piece of advice that you would offer to the candidates today, thinking about where you were 2 years ago when you applied for VI CPM, what advice would you offer to the candidates?
I'll go first. Have patience with yourself. You're going to need your strength, your courage, your faith to get through it. It's a great program. It opens your mind to other aspects of your strengths. And with your cohort, just pray on that, because you have your cohort to lean on. But it's a great experience, and if you can do it, it's worthwhile, definitely, because it's done on a locally relatable level, if that makes sense to everybody.
All right, thank you. I had AD Evelyn go last the last 2 times, so I'm going to have him go second this time.
Sure. I would say that, to embrace the growth process. I think this is more than just a program. It's an opportunity to kind of elevate your leadership capabilities and how you can have a positive impact within your organization. If anything, I would say is just learning is lifelong, and just go into it with an open mind and embrace the total concept of growth. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me go to, I don't know, it's a toss-up. Should I go to Miss Garcia or Miss Garcia? You smile. Okay, Garcia.
Just have fun, take it easy. Time management is number one. Take your notes. Like I said, you're gonna have your information, if not the day of, the day before, and just read up before it so you can have your questions ready in case you don't understand anything, and keep building on you. That's it. I had fun. I liked it, and I think I want to apply again. I don't know if director will allow it, so because she can't lose me, Miss James, and Mr. Knight. So,
Garcia, really? Look, if ever I had a chance, it's gone now.
No, I will say this, that I remember there was a year, I think I had like several individuals from my team participating, and I was pulling my hair out, especially the year that Mr. Knight had to participate. And I kept saying, because there was so much going on, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure you can handle this? Can you balance everything? And he was like, yes, I have a plan. And, Ms. O'Reilly is correct. They did form this family. I remember there was one day we couldn't find Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight was MIA. And everybody was texting me like, where's Mr. Knight? Where's Mr. Knight? So it's definitely a great program. They do form that bond. And I mean, anything that I had to do, especially for my team, every Monday morning when we meet, I would say, remember, this is a CPM week, so your people are going to be out of the office. So just do what you got to do. So you have to do things on your own too, as an agency head, to make sure to allow for such an opportunity, because the benefits come back to your organization. So couple of months, they're out, they do, those couple of days, and you do what you have to do. But it's a great program, and I always am willing to allow my team to participate in training such as this.
Thank you, Director. And Miss James, I did not forget you, Miss James.
So I would say, if given the opportunity, embrace it, be fully committed to the program, and remember, it's an investment.
Thank you. Are there Is there any closing remarks that UVI wants to offer to the candidates? Because, of course, we've gone through it ourselves, but for Team UVI, you've seen 6 cohorts go through the process. Anything that you want to offer to the candidates who are potentially applying that would help them in terms of their decision-making process, or perhaps if there are any supervisors or agency heads here who may want to, learn a little bit more about it, any information that you want to share from the Team UVI side? While we're waiting for UVI, I see a question regarding nonprofits. Yes, nonprofits can participate.
And then also there's a question, I'm not sure if you're able to cover this, but says when reviewing all the applications, how do you determine who gets selected for the CPM program? Is there a specific set of criteria or an evaluation process used? Also, how many participants are typically accepted per class for each territory?
Okay, so sorry, that had 3 parts, right? Okay.
So the first question is, when reviewing all the applications, how do you determine who gets selected for the CPM program?
Okay, so the selection will still go through, well, once the applicant meets the eligibility criteria, submits all the information, it does go through the policy board to make that selection process. They do look at preferences given to persons with supervisory experience, preferably in their current role. And then from there, it's going to be looked at in terms of the project, but that is a decision that we make with the VI Certified Public Manager Policy Board.
Okay, the second part is there a specific set of criteria? I think you did answer that. How many participants are typically accepted per class for each territory?
Well, total, we've gone up to our max, if I'm not mistaken, that we've gone up to has been a maximum of 60. The government of the Virgin Islands will cover at least 40, but I think the max that we've gone up to has been just around 60. But of course, all of that hinges on making sure that everyone does meet the eligibility criteria for the program.
Thank you. And there are some more just going through the chat.
See, is the payment made after the selection approval process? Let's see. So if you're covered by the government of the Virgin Islands, you are responsible for the processing fee. Anything outside of that would be made directly to the University of the Virgin Islands. But of course, that would be the processing fee is part of the application process, so that does have to be submitted with the application for it to be complete. The payment, if you're not covered within the number that the government of the Virgin Islands covers, that would go directly to UVI, and of course, that would be due. UVI can provide the timeline, but once you get the notification that you're eligible, then that will be communicated directly to UVI. But for persons, for example, in nonprofit, private sector, once you're notified, you would contact UVI directly. Oh, closing remarks from Team UVI. Anything Team UVI wants to offer? Well, no, hang on. Dr. Edwards told me she just started. So, there we go. There's Dr. McGrath. Dr. McGrath is hiding.
I was turning it over to our fearless leader.
Well, this is what leadership development is all about, especially in management. You want to promote your staff and give them opportunities. So thank you so much, Dr. Edwards. You did a phenomenal job, and Dr. Euchre as well. I just want to thank everybody. Thank you, DOP team, our Team UVI, our Team CPM Alum. Please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions you might have. These are excellent questions we heard today in the conversation. So as you're going through your application, if you're having any questions, concerns, anxieties, please reach out. You see that we're very approachable. We have just nothing but love and support for you as you go through this journey. So please don't hesitate. So CPM at uvi.edu if you want to email the UVI, Team UVI, or DOP folks. You can also share the best way to contact you on your side if you have any questions. But 20 spots are up for grabs outside of the 40 GVI spots. So get your applications in as soon as you can. Thanks so much, team.
And I'm going to turn it over to my fearless leader to have us wrap it up.
So again, thank you guys all for your participation today. It's been great just hearing the feedback about this awesome program. I just want to go back over just a few dates that just to mention. Again, the deadline for your application is June 23rd. Once that application period is closed, you can anticipate to hear back from us around July 14th or 15th. And then the start date for the next cohort is projected to start the week of August 4th. So, start planning, start looking at your calendars and carving that time out. So again, we look forward to seeing all of the applications, and we're looking forward to awesome cohort 7 for 2025. And, thank you guys for taking the time out to participate today. Thank you to Team UVI. Thank you to Team DOP, and have an awesome afternoon.